And I ask the same question, so how much were you contributing? So what is the deduction here? If you want to get more money, what will happen? We contribute more. So the policy would have been increase the amount every soldier and officer contributes in Nigerian Army every month. How about that? But the Chief of Army Staff said no. We should not contribute, we should not deduct more money from his personnel. That for every amount paid by every soldier or officer, Chief of Army Staff contributes the same amount on your behalf. So you have twice what was deducted from your salary in your account every month. And I thought grateful officers would give the Chief of Army Staff round of applause. So on the screen is the additional benefit that is paid on your behalf by the Chief of Army Staff. And this is what the picture looks like now every month on your behalf. And what you have on the board next is what is accruable to every rank in your fortunate situation that the soldier dies in active service. Officer or soldier, you can see how much it is for each rank. Because what we do is not magic. We invest the money in both money market primarily on your behalf. So that at the point of discharge or retirement, you get the refund of your contribution, but in debt, a fixed sum as shown on the screen. Next is Nigerian Army Life Policy cover. If I ask this question, I can assure you that nearly 90% of us here in this hall have never heard of this policy. One, is relatively new. Two, is only payable in case of death. And my prayer is that nobody here should earn this amount in this service. Amen. I thought I would hear a louder amen. Amen. There is no refund in case of death. On the screen is what you will get, or the NOK will get, in case of death for any life policy, NAWIS, and benevolent fund. So this will not be interesting to any of us here, because our daily prayer is that nothing for. Alright, so let's keep nothing for NOK, nothing for us. So the point to note, at the point of retirement or discharge of a soldier under your command, no need to fill form. Again, after the did you fill any form? We don't credit your account like that. Yes. Once we get notification from MS of the date, effective date of your retirement or discharge for a soldier, we compute everything, is computerized, and we credit your account automatically. So if a soldier under your command is going on retirement or discharge, don't bother. However, it's not the same thing in case of what? Death. Why is that so? Because there is no way for NAWIS to be aware that the soldier under your command has died. But in case of retirement, MS will notify us. For the soldier, DPM will notify us. So we will compute automatically. But in case of death, you owe your soldiers a duty to complete the NAWIS forms. First send the noticals, part 2 others, and you are the one to tell us who the NOK is and the NOK account number. Because once you don't do that, there's no way NAWIS or benevolent fund will be paid. And the sad reality is that many of you here have refused to do that for your soldiers. And the second part of it is that until you will pay NAWIS and benevolent fund and burial expense, pension board will not pay the death gratuity. Why is that so? Pension board is a tri-service institution. And I hope none of you officers here that audio.
By a short scheme of the federal government, NAPIS was established to further enhance the welfare needs of all Nigerian Army personnel. The provision of welfare for Nigerian Army personnel is a strategic objective within the command philosophy of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Y.D. Shaibu, Nigerian Army Medal. The pillar for the realization of the objective is robust administration. In order to optimize this objective, NAPIS, as a special insurance policy, provides compensation to all Nigerian Army personnel who sustain temporary or permanent injury is hospitalized, or if death occur in the course of carrying out official duty. Here are the compensations under NAPIS. 1. In case of death, 300% of annual salary and non-regular allowance will be paid to the next of kin of the personnel. 2. For permanent disability, compensation will be based on the degree of disability. 3. For temporary disability, the salaries of the victim will be refunded to the Nigerian Army for the recovery period subject to a maximum of 104 weeks. 4. Personnel will be reimbursed up to a maximum of 500,000 for hospitalization. Note, the reimbursement will not be made for treatment that are covered by the National Health Insurance Scheme. Steps to be taken for NAPIS compensation. NAPIS compensation is not automatic. The personnel involved in the accident and his unit both have roles to play before compensation can be paid. Whenever there is an accident, personnel are to take pictures of the incident, visit the hospital to gain treatment, provide relevant documents needed to substantiate the treatment, which will include medical report, medical receipts, 3 months pay slips, and medical discharge certificates where applicable. Those documents are duly submitted by the Nigerian Army personnel to their units. The roles of the unit include assisting the personnel to complete NAPIS claims form, issue notices and medical certificate for cause of death where applicable. The unit is to forward the completed NAPIS form accompanied with all supporting documents to Army Headquarters Department of Army Administration through appropriate communication channels for necessary action. Officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army are hereby sensitized that NAPIS compensation is a right for all personnel whose accident occurred from February 2023. Personnel are to take advantage of this laudable initiative by the Chief of Army Staff. NAPIS assures every soldier on every nation of the support and courage. Note that there will be no compensations if there are no requests or claims by personnel. Long live the Nigerian Army. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Army Finance Corporation, NAFIC.
Okay, go back to the slide. This is the Nigerian Army Personnel Insurance Scheme. Know something about insurance. Every month, you are supposed to pay what is called what? Premium. But every Nigerian Army officer and soldier has been insured by the Chief of Army Staff and 100% premium paid by the Chief of Army Staff. What does it cover? 4 things. 1, if you sustain injury in the course of official duty, if you are temporarily immobilized or injured, or permanent disability, and in final case of death during official duties, you are entitled to compensation under NAPIS. I repeat, temporary injury or injury to temporary disability, to permanent disability, to hospital admission, and to death. So for every personnel that is KIA or wounded in action, they are entitled to this. And for you, as combat service support, whether your soldier is cooking in the kitchen, hot water pour on his body, go to the hospital, you get compensation when there's a medical report. Whether you are fixing spanner and something fell on the soldier's head, it's entitled to it. Even his morning PT or evening games, it's entitled to it. Injury arises from official cause. All you need to do is report to the hospital and it's a medical report. And remember the second important thing he said here. If you do not report, you will not get what? Compensated. And I hope you understood that. When I was in Kaduna on this same topic, one soldier asked me, "Sir, he was on pass and he was kidnapped 2 weeks before he was able to escape from kidnappers then, and he sustained injury. Is he entitled to compensation?" And let me ask you as the officers, answer the soldier. Is he entitled to compensation? Is he entitled? You are waiting for me to validate your answer. You won't hear anything from me. Alright, so you have seen it. Death, permanent disability, temporary disability, and medical expense will be refunded. Okay? The amounts that are due for compensation, is this clear enough? Can you see the figures? Okay, I will leave it with you again. The video on the enlightenment is here, left with you. Please pass it to your WhatsApp forum. All of you can take it back and you remind yourself continuously. Any rank on this compensation table? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Which rank are you seeing there? You saw Major General? How much Major General? How much? 4 million for injury. How much is this? If I was getting 7 million, imagine how much you officers will collect. Okay, there's a lot of money lying there if you sustain injury. So do your job with high morale. You have been adequately insured. We have paid for the leg and the hand, don't worry. Enjoy it for us, we'll pay you. Alright, we talk about the group life assurance policy. This is a provision of the federal government of Nigeria, handled by the Ministry of Defense. So for every death in service, whether it's natural or in operation, you will be paid under group life assurance policy. But not same for NAPIS. NAPIS is only during operation or duties. Next is the Nigerian Army Welfare Loan Scheme. I'm sure you are all aware that we operate 2 welfare loan schemes for every personnel of the Nigerian Army, officers and soldiers. True or false? True or false? You see why you're not answering? It means that you're not aware and your soldiers have not been applying. I heard particularly a bad example, but I hate to say this. Some soldiers who were in the armed corps, they were fond of doing racketeering with our arms and ammo, particularly in the operational area, and I mean no indictment for any corps. One of the soldiers was asked, why did you do this during the court martial? He said he sold the thing, he has a present family problem, and he sold the magazine for 200,000 naira. So because of 200,000 naira, your career is finished, your character is damaged, you are going to prison, you will lose your pension, you will lose your gratuity, you will lose everything. And I said, I do not blame that soldier. I blame the officers, because under the welfare loan scheme, that soldier could have been given 200,000 naira easily, and he will pay back within up to 4 or 5 years. So the Nigerian welfare loan scheme provides interest-free loans for any officer and soldier in Nigerian Army. There are two of them. One is called the Chief Army Staff Cash Loan Scheme, and the second one is called what? Chief Army Staff Personnel. Okay, what is the difference? The first one is immediate cash, and you pay back within 12 months. The second one is to enable you to do investments, pay school fees, train anybody, and you can pay back within up to 3 to 5 years. Small deductions from your salaries. Not just for you and your soldiers. So on the board, you can see the rank, you can see how much each student is entitled to, and repayable within 12 months. My office is directly in charge. Send your applications to me using the forms, and we will honor it. This one is the Personnel Empowerment Loan Scheme. You can see the rank. It gives you more money. It's an empowerment scheme. You want to renovate your house, buy land, do anything serious, you don't need to steal. Don't sell arms, don't sell ammunition. Don't engage in illegality. Apply to us. We'll give you interest-free. And you pay back over 3 to 5 years, small deduction, pay less. This policy is called what? Administration of pay allowances of who? Of who? Hello? Of Killed in Action NA personnel. What is it about? For every NA personnel, officer or soldier who is KIA in operation, their families will continue to receive their salary allowances for a maximum of 2 years. Once it's KIA, 2 years, continue to pay their salary allowances. But you have a duty as commanders. If a soldier dies in operation, there's something you're supposed to do before finance can activate this. One, send a signal message. First things, put the KIA operation, you state the operation. Not a soldier going from Apapa to Ojuelegba and he has an accident and dies. No, that's not operation. Those killed in active operation, they will state the operation, put every other detail there, and state the NOK and NOK account details. It's automatic. Don't need to fill any form. Just send noticards, that's all, with this information. For the next 2 years, family will be on continual payment of their salary and allowances. You know why? The family should not suffer needless financial hardship due to the loss of their breadwinner. But we are beginning to have what we call unintended consequence of this purposeful action. And what is that? NOKs now are collecting this monthly allowance and they are not mentioning it to their family members. So the NOK is just using it into jollof. So advice for you commanders, when you go to pay condolence visits to the families and you are discussing with them, please tell everybody where they are that this is what the Nigerian Army will do, including this one, so that they can all hold the NOK what? Accountable. Okay? Are we going backward or forward? I know why the thing is going back by itself. Do you know why? Some of you are not happy. All right? So sample of Nauticas, I put it here for you. The essential ingredients what I told you, Nauticas operation, Nauticas, KIA operation, Fasa Yama, operation Adinkai, operation Udoka, operation this, that, tell us. And put the NOK names automatic. That's all we need. Next is the Nigerian Army Educational Sponsorship for Children of Diseased Personnel. So for every soldier that dies, whether in operation or not in operation, the Army will continue to sponsor their children. 4 of them, maximum of 4, up to university level, free of charge. And most of you are aware of it. So, be that not the solution. However, note, these are things you should know. Eligibility, children of Nigerian Army personnel who lost their lives in active service. It covers primary, secondary, and tertiary education. You write application letter, include the admission letter for schools, the last book report card, birth certificate of the child, death certificate of the breadwinner of the personnel, condolence letter and Nauticas, recent passport photographs. These are the requirements by DOA. They will come for verification. But what is important for you to note as commanders? Note, let's read together because you are the commanders. 1, your families are going with what? Families of your soldiers are going with what? 2, 3. So people are collecting money from them. 4. Why are they doing this? Because you, the commander, you, the officer, did not teach them, did not correct them. So you allow the NOK, you allow the wives and children to suffer. So you are a bad commander or officer, it is happening under your command. Alright, so on this note, we'll move on to the next scope item, which is retirement benefits at the point of retirement. If you hear that you have been retired, do not worry, nothing to panic about. The first thing will pay you is your terminal parking allowance. They will pay you 3 months notice in lieu of salary. You will be refunded the National Housing Fund. You will be paid Security Department allowance. You will be paid additional retirement benefits if you qualify. And you will be paid gratuity and pensions. See, there are plenty. If you are in doubt, ask General Ekpeyon. I know how much he collected, but I won't tell you. I'm deliberately mentioning him because he's the latest retired officer in the army. I won't mention General Labi. Alright, so let's look at each of them very briefly. Terminal parking allowance is to facilitate your disengagement from the barracks immediately upon retirement. It is 10% of your annual kunas on step 5 of your respective rank. So you can call it what? Total consolidated salary of divided by 12. That what will pay you as terminal parking allowance. 3 months notice. In lieu, lump sum, which we pay to a guy and others. You don't go rest today, Abi. Alright, 3 months straight to his account. If you are a contributor to National Housing Fund, we will refund you. Tedious process for the federal government, but we will process for you. Security Department allowance is new. Listen, it's new, it's very important. It's a mandatory payment made to all segregated military personnel worth 2020. This one concerns mostly Major General A.G. Ibrahim. Why? They are the next most senior, they are the most senior officers in the army. Anytime they are in and they go, they will leave us behind.
With their small boats.
With their small boats, exactly. They will leave us behind, they are going. Don't worry, sir, we will pay you security department allowance. It's plenty money. Now listen, this is very important. The objective is to pay you for the specialized skill you acquired while you are in service. It means that you are forbidden from using your military skills outside service for any action or activity against the Nigerian state. Ask a lawyer to interpret it for you. Once we pay you, you can be charged. Court martial, because you collect this amount of money and you promise not to use your skill against the state. Very important. Sir? Once it's against the state, you are writing, teaching them how to write, writing skills. You have lost it. And look at it, 10% your annual basic salary at time of retirement, 10% times the number of years that you have served. Plenty money. So for 35 years of service, per rank, this is what you come to. Well, don't worry yourself too much. The only person that's worrying himself, he knows, will take it to his office to see it. So try and do 35 years so you can collect this money. Alright, there's something called additional retirement benefits. It's a lump sum again, paid to only a certain category of persons who must have been one, 2, 3, that includes me. 4, 5, 6. So if you are a major and you are thinking of leaving, you have missed it. So if you are a major, just try just to hang lieutenant colonel. Just get it half corner, small, get it half corner, so that this thing will reach you. The objective is to enable us to sustain the life we live while we're in service, to pay for a driver, steward, cook, your personal staff, etc., etc. That's the essence of additional retirement benefits. If I was giving a lecture to soldiers, I would tell them, try to reach AWO before you leave. Because only AWO they give the thing to. Alright, next is pensions and gratuity. This is the final one where we'll stop for under this second item. Now, what is pension? Is the monthly amount that is payable to any public servant who has retired from the public service. If you have done a minimum of 10 years under the Pension Reform Act 2004, you'll be paid for life. For how long? For life. Every month, you will collect something, no matter how small. That's why we beg all of you. If you want to put in your paper, it's okay, but try and do 10 years so that no matter the matter, you'll be getting something every month till death. Gratuity is a lump sum. It's called gratuity, gratuitous payment, gratitude for your service. Only one lump sum. But pension every month. So as you are collecting a lot in service, retirees are also collecting. Again, if you are in doubt, you can ask a general. Okay, so I've explained pension and gratuity, so we won't bother to waste time anymore. That's the summary of pension and gratuity. If you have any questions, you can ask during the interactive session. Alright, let me quickly explain something to you. There are two types of pensions. One, contributory pension scheme. Two, defined benefit scheme. and I'll tell you the difference. Contributory pension scheme, that's what the army started with. What does it imply? Every month, they make a deduction from your account. They pay to a PFA, a pension fund administrator. And they do that, they will save the money and be investing it every month. So when you retire, they will be paying you small. So this month they can pay you 30,000, next month they can pay you 45,000, next month they can pay you 70,000. That is why you see police and others, they are always rioting and demonstrating, because that's what they are being paid under CPS. Why are they being paid such insignificant amount? Because what they will earn is contingent upon what the PFA makes every month. If the PFA say, look, I have your contributions were in service, but this month I invested the money, market bad, I can only pay you 25,000 naira. That's what you collect. But the hallmark, the golden oil of pensions is called the defined benefit scheme. Once you say this is how much you will get, that's how much you will get till retirement, till death. That one is paid by the federal government, and that's the military migrated from contributory pension scheme to the defined benefit scheme. That way, say our retirees do not go on what? They don't demonstrate anymore. And I think we should all be happy. If you are happy and you know it, clap your hands. Good. You won't know now until you reach retirement. If you are in doubt, ask those that are gone before you, that are sitting with you in the hall here, what their mates in the police and others are going through. So we are better off in the armed forces. So this table reflects a chart of what you are entitled to for pensions and gratuity. Is it clear? Not very clear? Okay, don't worry. You're not going, you're not retiring yet, don't worry. After the lecture, I'm going to show back Ibrahim in the office, don't worry. Alright, so that ends the second scope item. Now this is the third and final scope item for welfare benefits for Nigerian Army personnel. This is for people who have retired. Who have what? Retired. It's not for you anymore. Even in retirement, you have benefits. And there are a few people that are listening to me very, very carefully. They are here. You know them? What they are entitled to in retirement? They are looking at the board. Why you are not looking at the board? Alright. All pensionable personnel under the pension reform scheme are guaranteed how many months pension? What does that mean? How many years is 60 months? So it means that once you are a pensioner, 5 years pension is guaranteed for every pensioner. So if for any reason, any retiree dies less than 5 years after retirement, the family are entitled to the bulk of the balance of the less than 5 years they have not collected. That's what we call bulk pension. And it's your responsibility as officers, as commanders, to guide the family of retired officers or discharged soldiers under your command, your relatives. It's their rights and entitlement. Many of them are not aware. Some die 1 year, 2 years after retirement. The balance money into their families, please. Just guide them, and a simple procedure. Once you write a letter to pension board, you put your bank account details, put your death certificate, put all those things, it's automatic they will pay you, don't need to bribe anybody. The next one is burial assistance for families of deceased, retired, or discharged officers and soldiers. This is the board. Can we see it? Even in death of a retired discharged soldier or retired officer, the army will still pay this. In addition to sending burial party, we will buy coffee, they give handshake, they give token as shown on the screen. No. Please, this is a major is 3 million. It's there. You can look at the NA admin policy, is there. and we are compiling, it's 3 billion more than that for Major General. Okay? I have to correct it because somebody is a Major General and is looking at, no, you get more than that, sir. More than that. So even in death, the army assists to bury our retired and discharged personnel. And that brings me to the end of all the welfare policies for personnel in service, at the point of retirement, and in death of retired or discharged personnel. A few things, let me just share with you before I leave. Only one thing actually, just share with you before I leave. Next of kin. It's a very interesting subject, and I'll tell you why. The next of kin, your next of kin is very important. Listen, your next of kin is the administrator of your estate, should the unfortunate happen. Listen, your next of kin is the administrator, the person who administer your will or your real estate, or your estate, should the unfortunate happen. The next of kin is not the beneficiary. It doesn't supposed to benefit the money, no. It's to administer it. And how we administer it? Administer it in line with the wish of the deceased officer or soldier. How will you have wanted your money to be shared? So think very well before you choose NOK. The person you are choosing as your NOK, can he administer your will or your estate in line with your will? When you choose your 2-year-old son or your 5-year-old son, has he reached the age of majority or maturity? Can he administer your estate? Or you put your old father in the village or your old mother in the village? Ask yourself, can that administer your way? Can you come from the village to go to pension board, to go to everywhere? So be very careful in choosing who your NOK is. And these are the guidelines. 1, consider the issue of appointment of NOK with all. Avoid choosing family members or relatives with known history of what? History of what? Preferably select who? Now listen very carefully. It's your wish, it's your freedom to choose who you want. We cannot impose on you. But there's a problem with NOKs. The problems are plenty. For the last 2 Major Generals that died in service, we are still fighting the battle up till now. One even went to break the family. Hope you are aware. Wife versus girlfriend versus no wife, wife rear and wife main. Even the last one that we lost, legal services, up to now, the matter is still on. It's a big problem. You know that song, I want problem. When you choose your NOK anyhow, you get anyhow in debt. People, you cannot rest in peace. Alright, so for you commanders, there's something called Board of Adjustment. This is the final one we'll talk before we close. Board of Adjustment, according to the Nigerian Army policy and guidelines, is to be set up in the case of every officer or soldier that dies. What is the board supposed to do? Identify all your assets. List all your liabilities. Identify your next of kin. And advise the commander, that person that you chose, is he suitable to administer your will now that you're no more around? The latest one I'm dealing with is a Yeye soldier from Ojo Cantonment here who chose his girlfriend as his NOK. And the funny part or the good part of it is that the girlfriend said, when they went to call her, she said she's not interested. She said, why will you put me as NOK? Because I give her one style. And the wife and the children are suffering. Yes. He said, Mr. Say this is what I need to do with the man. And he said, okay, the man don't die. Now at least still I give her when he's there alive. Why is he worrying me putting my name in paper? No, doesn't want. And I know, but the way I'm looking at you, all these logistics officers, I'm seeing oil everywhere. If you go and put that girlfriend name in your NOK, you will get problem. Alright, so board of adjustment should be set up, and that's yes, but most importantly, you must interview every member of the family for board of adjustment. Everybody must be called for interview by the board. This one is on. We are hoping to soon actualize. I'm directly in charge. Once it actualizes, all your loans issue will be dealt with seamlessly. On this note, thank you for your attention.
Can we once again give our resource person direct serving applause? Sir, please can you still remain seated on the stage, yes sir?
I should mount the stage.
Distinguished senior officers, participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the interactive session. This segment will be moderated by Brigadier General U.C. Eze. Brigadier General U.C. Eze is of the Nigerian Army Corps of Supply and Transport, and he doubles as the Commander 70 Command Supply and Transport. Here at this moment, with a round of applause, invite our able moderator for this session.
The representative of the special guest of honor in absentia, very senior officers, both serving and retired, participants, ladies and gentlemen, we have just listened to a very lively lecture and presentation on the Nigerian Army Personnel Insurance Scheme and other welfare schemes, imperative for commanders, delivered by no other person than the Director General, Nigerian Army Finance Corporation, Major General J. Yusufo. Sir, please, can we give him another round of applause? The presentation dealt generally on the various financial programs in the Nigerian Army. And in doing that, he also gave imperatives for commanders. He even explained to us why everybody in this hall should pay attention. Because even the most junior officer here now has a role to play. While our seniors, our mentors, even as they have dropped the uniform, they are still stakeholders in the presentation. So please permit me to remind us that even though this presentation is thought-provoking and mind-agitating, so that we expect it to elicit clarifications, observations, and inputs, we have only 30 minutes allotted to this session. And due to time constraint, we may not exceed the 30 minutes. That's why I'm respectfully requesting that contributors should please be brief and go straight to the point. So to save time, I will request people who have input, who have contributions, who need to make clarification, apart from those in the front row, anywhere you are and you raise up your hand, you'll be given the mic so that we see how many interventions our erudite resource person can handle within the 30 minutes time frame. Thank you very much. So please, the floor is open now. I know that we enjoyed this presentation. I also know that the very senior officer made it as lively as possible. But please, we need contributions, we need interventions. Okay, please, Quentin.
Sir, I am Colonel Eko Quento from DICOM. Sir, mine is just an interest on your second to last slide concerning the NOK. Like you said, it's a very serious issue, and I would really be advised on how to handle where our serving personnel that died actually used maybe his brother that is not his immediate nuclear family, that he got his wife and his kids as his NOK, and the person in question is actually facing the listed issue that you raised. Either he has issue of drugs and all that. Can a commander of a unit use his discretion to actually invite the person and the wife of the deceased to actually seize initiative to settle the benefits of the deceased with the NOK without having any issues with the NOK at the end of the day? Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Quentin. Sir, permit me to mention that the resource person said will take like 2 or 3 contributions when we address them before we take more. So please, any other contribution from the floor? Please take it to General Bennett first, then later General Buba. Oh, yes.
The representative of Chua, Mr. Our lecturer, sir. Thank you very much for your thought-provoking lecture this evening. And I just have 2 questions. Now, I have a situation in ordinary school where the soldier came from the northeast. He came from the front line of the school, and during one of our morning PTs, he slumped and died. The question is, sir, is he entitled to the 2 years, knowing fully well that his unit is deployed in the northeast, but he died when he came on course, just a week after coming on course? Which category is he qualified for the 2 years salary that is meant for those that die in operation? That is one. Secondly, on the issue of NOKs, and I hope that our Muslim brothers will be able to contribute on that. I have a soldier that had this situation, and when the issue came up to me, according to the brother, who happens to be, the wife is actually the NOK, but then the brother said religiously there is a percentage that is supposed to be meant for the soldiers, for his mother, based on their religion. So such issues, how do we address them? Thank you, sir.
Give to General, please.
The representative of the Chief Army Staff, sir. Snow, sir, gentlemen. Sir, I want to thank you for your well-packaged lecture. I just have a contribution, and it's just in addition to what you have said. It's something that I've pondered about over time, and that is the need for sensitization of officers and even soldiers on the importance of will writing and also maybe what they call living trust. I know, yes, nobody is going to die, but I've seen instances where soldiers and officers die, and their wives and family, they don't know what they have. So I think it's something that we can talk about. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think at this point, we may allow the resource person to address these issues. Thereafter, you take the microphone to Brigadier General Abuba and we'll continue from there.
Okay, so when I started the lecture, I did mention to you that my classmates and I celebrating 36 years of service to the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I hope you know what we are celebrating is 36 years of service, but not 36 years of reckonable service. The difference between service and reckonable service. And in the course of my introduction, I especially thanked General A.M. Onabi for the years of hard work and training. You will notice that I deliberately omitted General A.G. Ibrahim, the corps commander. You want to know why? Because when we went to AD in 1990, he so dazed us. He did not allow us to rest. He wounded us at night, in the afternoon, in the evening. But however, after 36 years, I said, let me just thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. His hard work made us to where we are now. All right, again, thank you for all these questions. Now, Konekwento, the NOK, in your opinion, is not suitable because of the issues you have identified. It's either a drug addict or a gambler or something. Now, that's the essence of what? Board of Adjustment. But be careful with Board of Adjustment. It doesn't empower you to change the wish of the NOK, the soldier. Soldier has chosen his administrator. So you don't really necessarily have the powers to change his administrator. But in extreme circumstance, I use the word extreme circumstance, you must be detailed and thorough. If, for example, you have identified that soldier has that problem, that NOK has that problem, is there a medical report to show that it's of impaired mind and that the children and wives will suffer if that money is paid to him? Is there a report by the local government authority or from the prison to show that it's an ex-convict, convicted for perpetual convict? So if you put all those reports along with your Board of Adjustment and your findings, you don't change at your own level, you forward to Army Headquarters through normal channel of communication. You request them to authorize you to change, given those circumstances that you have identified. Army Headquarters has very experienced lawyers in that place. They will go through it and revert and tell you whether you have the powers or you can go ahead to change or not. But do not change at your level. Okay? But alternatively, if you call all the family members, because some people might look like they are soft, but they can actually do well. Call all the family members for a meeting, advise them, let everybody know that this is the amount, this is what they are entitled to, and let them tell you if you should go ahead or not. Because having informed everybody, they can now collectively hold the NOK accountable. Alright, Jarabero, the issue of the soldier that slumps during morning PT. First, let me express my condolences to you. That will be a very terrifying experience. Remember, what we said is payments for those that are KIA is contingent upon the signal that you have sent, the nautical signal. So when you sent a nautical signal, did you put Nauticus Operation Hadinkai or Nauticus Money PT, routine money PT? So your Nauticus have answered the question. If you put that the man died in your school, children and died every money PT, it's not entitled to. But if you say the man died in Operation Fasanyama and the Nauticus is coming from there, or Operation Hadinkai, it's automatic, and you put the NOK. So you don't need to free form or anything.
was an Abyssinian. His case was a typical example. His wife, he came from a Muslim family. Is not come. The evidence is not end. The only problem that it took almost 2 years before I got there. I will follow the guidelines and instructions. We paid that the okay, the officer signed by himself is his son. Religion should not color implementation of the army policy. That's my advice for you. But there's something we also have what we call arbitration in pension board. So when these issues come, we call all the family members and we ask them to articulate. This is what you want, this is what you want to say yes. We normally will say the children have a long way to go. So we pay the children 60% of the entitlement when they are contentions. We pay the wife 20% and the father and mother 20%. If they agree, we'll type it on the paper, every party signs, they put their account number, they go to a notary public or a court to stamp and notarize it. So once it's time, we just take their account directly. That's what we do in pension board. But again, like I said, this is a slippery slope. So try to make sure you navigate within the ambit of Nigerian Army regulation so that you don't miss it. Because at the end of the day, if they write a petition and the board of inquiry is set up, they will ask why did you not follow Army regulation. And that will answer the question that General David asked about the need for our personnel to write a will or a trust. As an army, we are guided and bound by policies. We are the military. I've heard about those wills and trust, but the army says the next of kin, as chosen by the personnel, is who the army will deal with for the purpose of what? Payment of benefits. That's what you write in your condolence letter. You don't talk about will or about trust. That's what the law says. But our law is not at variance, our policy is not at variance with the law. Our policy is a simplified method to enable us to carry out our objectives. For example, I just told you about the Nigerian welfare loan scheme. We are giving you loans and you are paying back over years. Do we have a license for the federal government to give loans? That's how it's not. But it's a welfare policy that operates the terms and conditions of service and empowers the army staff to carry out any action that will sustain the morale of his men. If welfare loans has been identified as such, so be it. Okay, so hide under the ambience of the policies of the army. And so I've heard about the need for wills and trusts, but I'm not an advocate of it because it's an due process. When you write it, you go to court, you look for an administrator, you deposit it somewhere. What are the messages are for all those who are when the messages for operation? So document how you want it and I will obey your wish. So I will pause there for now.
Thank you very much, General Buba.
Standing on the existing protocol, so in the course of your lecture, you raised so many issues, and at the end of your lecture, we were like, "This is all points covered." But I remember something.
Don't ask too many questions.
Yes, sir. Only one question.
One or two.
Yes, just giving a background. It's with respect to the benefits of disease personnel. Serving personnel of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it means until you die before you are given sponsorship to 4 biological children of a personnel. But this is the reverse terms and condition of service of a personnel of NNPC. A serving personnel of NNPC is entitled to sponsorship of his 4 biological children, his or her, four biological children up to university. Why is it that as members of the armed forces, until you die before you benefit from what a serving personnel of NNPC? It's like asking for 500% of the increase of the salary of members of the armed forces. Can we look at that provision and see how it can be applied to members of the armed forces? Because if you ask for 500% increase of salary of armed forces, the figure will be scary. But if you leverage, let me use that word again, leverage. If you leverage the provision of the NNPC terms and conditions of service, we will be better off. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I am Mickey.
It's already on. Don't press it again.
Thank you, sir. I have a question, sir. What can an officer or soldier that have applied for coercive office staff personal empowerment loan from 2024, 2 years ago, do and they are not yet credited? What are they supposed to do, sir? Thank you, sir.
Another intervention from that side. Okay.
All right, so Jarabuba, thank you for that question. NNPC is a different organization, and their own welfare policies are defined by them. The Army is a different organization, and our welfare policies have been defined by us. The essence of giving so much welfare to the families of deceased personnel is because ours is a very risky operation. And you don't want to see families of other children, of people, of deceased, colleagues suffering. What will be your own morale? So that becomes a bit difficult. Now to the question. The Army has several welfare policies for your children in education. Army Day primary, Army Day secondary, Command secondary. And in those schools, you pay less than what the civilian pays. They are highly subsidized educational policies for our children. The problem is that we don't want your children to go to army schools. That's why you are going to think of that. That's why it's a burden. Otherwise, school fees in command schools are relatively subsidized. And there are several policies too that we didn't mention here. For example, while you are in service, you are fully accommodated, and you are encouraged to have post-service homes which are cheaper than what the NNPC man is paying. Even our HOA scheme that General Lagbaja is so recently introduced, even soldiers who are seriously wounded and incapacitated were given free houses to live in. Those policies are not there for NNPC. There are a lot of things that we are enjoying, but I didn't bring them in this one because I want to concentrate purely on the financial aspects. So there are things also to compensate for you which the NNPC people do not earn. Alright, so for the man who applied to CPES, now I'll tell you, CPES when it started under General Lagbaja's so recipes, he gave about 4 billion. About 4 billion. He started in 2006. In less than 6 months, about 4 months, that money finished. So every month, people are applying. When I took over, look at an average of, I put everybody on first come, first serve. An average of 15 months went to 1 year. As of today, average of 24 months. I start, day for yesterday, I just paid those who applied in July last 2024. So if you applied by July, before July should have been paid. If not, take my number and send me a message. 080 23 186 139. And please, everybody can take my number. If you have any finance related problem for you or any of your personnel clarification, please feel free to just send me a WhatsApp message. I will respond to you. Any of you should just send me, I will address it. I will tell you where your application is. Perhaps you don't even qualify, that's why you disqualified, and I will tell you.
All right, let me just wrap up by telling you, I said I want to tell you why you are the cause. Okay, front row, yes. But let me just tell you why a soldier misses operation allowance for 18 months. Why you are the one responsible. Now that you know, the operation theater is volatile, uncertain, complex, and because it's tough. That's the bottom line, it's tough. So a lot of soldiers will just carry on, especially when the unit has been overrun. And the first thing you do as commanders is what? A war signal. Once you send out a war signal, it goes straight through the channel to Army Headquarters and Public Administration. What DOA does immediately is to say, finance, stop payment of salary allowances because soldiers went on a war. They will stop. Okay? After 1, 2, 3 weeks or 1 to 3 months, soldier will come back to the unit. What you do is to what? You send rejab signal, all are correct. But that rejab, when you finish, you say disciplinary measure DOA will not do anything with that rejab signal to just be there. Because it means nothing. It's until you complete the disciplinary process, you send the result of the trial, your award and penalty, again down to DOA. DOA will now finish minutes to, there's one officer called DD discipline. So what's a lawyer? Lieutenant Colonel. It's one that will go through and check if the offense committed by the soldier is commensurate to the award that you have given him. If you have the powers of command to award that, when he has gone through and is satisfied, he will now move it to finance to say what? Unfreeze the account. So until that happens, all the months soldier is in unit and you say that trial and that result, that soldier will continue to miss salary. And you continue to wrongly accuse finance when you are the culprit. And that's why I said you are the responsible. The same way you are not feeling a wisdom when your soldiers die, because you do not even know. You believe that your responsibility begins and ends with burial, letter of condolence, and that's it. No. Until the soldier is paid the last expense, your duty is not complete as a commander. That's why I've come here to explain these things to you.
Thank you very much. Sir, please, before we go to the front row, I just got a message. A member of the 43rd Corps just directed me that participants should use the numbers you showed earlier in the slide to seek redress for issues. But the number you share now should be reserved for the reparations and for the things that happened with them. I'm just obeying instructions. Please, now we please, gentlemen participants, apart from those in the front row, use the avenues provided, including the Oga's special phone number, to seek further clarification. We are running fast running into time. So please, at front row, sir, we welcome interventions from the wise men in the front row, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, tell me.
It's a front row, not a front row.
The city law, sir. Any intervention?
The rep of senior officers. Our lecturers, thank you very much for educating us today. I don't have a question, but I just want to request if we can make the booklet available to everyone, if that is possible. For people that are curious, they can go and read it, then understand what is inside. You may not put those figures inside the book. The subject will review from time to time. I'm talking about so that some people want to die to collect that money, or they are not going to collect that money. Or if they are going to seize that money, they will not be praying otherwise instead of praying for them to live long. So that aspect of the money, the figures will be removed. Thank you, sir.
the representative of the Church of Army Staff, sir. I think with this we have come to the end of this session. I hand over back to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Can we please give the resource person and moderator another resounding applause? Sir, next on the item of our program is the presentation of souvenir. At this moment, may I humbly request the Commander Corps of Medical to make this presentation to our resource person and also the moderator. The first presentation is for our resource person. May I now invite Major General J.D. Lucifer to kindly step forward for the ceremony. Next presentation is to the moderator, Brigadier General UC Easy. Thank you very much, sir. Please can we give the Commander Corps Medical another resounding applause for that wonderful presentation. Sir, this day has been fast spent and very engaging and productive. Next item on the program will be lunch, but before we move for lunch, permit me to make this announcement because after lunch, we are going to have a close of the day. Please permit me to make these announcements. First and foremost, we'll be starting the presentations for tomorrow by 0800 hours. And the buses will be available at our hotel rooms by 0:30 hours tomorrow. 07:30 tomorrow. 07:30 tomorrow. But we'll be starting the program here by 0800 hours. Same venue, same hall. The lunch will be done at the Rickshaw Multipurpose Hall. Everyone from senior officers and participants are to move upstairs at the Rickshaw Multipurpose Hall, where everyone will have their lunch and it has been segmented according to our ranks. Thank you very much. God bless us all as we move from lunch and also come tomorrow for the sessions. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you. We will now rise for the national anthem. We will rise for the general assembly.